Hello there everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is episode 4 of the edutainment series. I'm so happy that we are rolling and I'm keeping my word about being consistent and I'm super excited about that. Please do subscribe to my channel. I always do this when I'm saying subscribe, but anyways, do like the video as well. Today, as promised, I am not alone. It is my first collaborative video and I'm super excited to be joined by Usli. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Silindokuhle Majola. I'm a geology graduate and an honors in geophysics student at the University of Witwatersrand.
So if you guys have been following the edutainment series thus far, you will maybe be able to connect the dots. Slee and I both have a background in geology. That is where I met her during our undergrad. I told you guys already that geology was really not my cup of tea, but I found myself there and kind of stuck it out, and I really struggled. Like, everything was just a struggle. Like, I could work so hard and be so disappointed with like my efforts not being reflected in the work, and we were just always so swamped, and it was just a lot. And that was my experience during geology. How was your experience?
I would say it was also challenging, very challenging, constantly challenging.
Like constantly, guys, let's go. Yes, if we have like field reports that are due, like we'd all be at the land together, we'd all be like cross nighting the day before an exam, but like we had that bond, yoba siyakoisha in a way, so that did help. But needless to say that we were not top A students or excelling all the time in our undergrad, but today we are doing our postgrads and we both have bursaries that are funding our education at WITS. So that speaks to today's topic. We are going to be elaborating or speaking further on the topic of bursaries. So I did say in the last video that I would be joined by Slee because she does have a little bit more information and insight to assist in driving this conversation forward. And we're going to be discussing things like, where you can apply, how you can apply, who can apply, as well as the different circumstances that people can find themselves in, which make pursuing your tertiary education a bit tricky. So we're going to touch on all of those things. Stay tuned, and like I said, do subscribe to my channel. Let's get straight into it. So Slee, I'm going to pose the first question to you, in terms of what is your opinion on the best websites to apply at or where to source opportunities for bursaries if students are looking.
Okay, to answer your question, opportunities are everywhere. I can't really say you should check them on a particular website or a particular platform. They are everywhere. So you can find opportunities for bursaries in WhatsApp groups. You can find them in internet. You can find them on social media like on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, even Twitter. You can see the opportunities there. So you must just be someone who's constantly searching. You will find the information.
Obviously, you're definitely that person who is constantly searching. She touched on the WhatsApp groups. So different platforms. I don't know if matriculants will maybe have this, but I know at university level and especially postgraduate level, you would have groups for the alumni, you'll have groups for the people in your class, and if maybe there's an opportunity for VAC work or bursary, people do share. So try to get yourself involved in those groups and like even start the groups. If you are in a class or you've just come in at first year, create a group, send a sheet around, get everyone's WhatsApp number. If anybody knows anything, it could be past papers, just to have that platform for sharing. I think it already is happening a lot because of COVID and things have moved online. But definitely, like she has said, you do your search engines for just randomly saying bursaries in geology. You find the search results and you go into those various opportunities, check for closing dates. You just have to search. Like sometimes it's even hard to find the application form that you can say this is a bursary, it's open. You click on the website, like you can't find the application form. Like what other tricks do you have for sourcing the actual documents if on Google maybe they're not showing?
Oh, okay. I think I can just maybe share one website. It's called SA Bursary Portal. It's there on Facebook, and it also has a website. So there they characterize the bursaries according to different fields. So you just maybe search geology, then you'll see all the bursaries for geology.
Okay, so I think that about gives as much information as is possible in terms of where to search. We all know you search the internet, it's people who share information and so forth, but you really just have to be dedicated and be determined to find and also apply when you do find something, you know? So, yeah, my next question would be um, who can apply? Or no, actually, before that question, let's maybe tackle how to apply. So then you source the documents online, you do find the application form, you fill out the application form, and from there, what pieces of advice could you give to like a person who's doing a bursary application, like similar to people applying for jobs, like you give advice in terms of that?
Okay, I would say the first advice is to believe in your capabilities, believe that you are the best candidate for the bursary, put yourself in a good mental position, and then once you're in that state, you can be able to write a motivational letter, because there's a section in most bursaries whereby you have to motivate, like why you, why not others. So if you are in a good mental space, you can be able to write out that section. So that's the first part, it's to collect yourself together.
Personally, for me, motivational letters just give me stress because you know sometimes you have to tailor make a motivational letter. It's different for an internship application, it's different for a bursary application. Also, maybe it can be different from company to company. I will try and source a video to get advice or deeper insights about how to prepare a motivational letter. The link will be in the description box, so you just click down, and a lot of the information we have shared here I will also include it in writing in the description box. But yeah, don't put the motivational letter off just because you feel uninspired. Try to get yourself in a position to be in the mental frame to write it down because it is important. Which brings me to my next point, that whatever documents they say you must attach with your application, try your best to attach everything. Source it, do whatever you need to do to make sure you have all the documents before the deadline, because if you don't have maybe a certain document, like let's say the 3 months bank statement that they sometimes ask for, or proof of income for your parent or guardian, or you said you lost a parent but there's no affidavit and there's no death certificate for maybe a parent that is late, your application will be considered incomplete. You need to motivate and support that everything on the application form is true, right? So you need to really include those documents. And maybe also to look at things, I want to know your opinion on the position of a student in terms of merit, so your grades and your marks and stuff, and also your financial need. So in terms of a person who is applying, how much do you think each weighs in terms of the success of an application?
I think it depends on the bursary or the company offering the bursary, because in some cases you find that the main purpose of the bursary is to support financially needy students.
Yes.
So if you are from a wealthy family, unfortunately you won't get that bursary.
So yeah, things like that actually do matter. Sometimes maybe a bursary won't say include proof of income, or include like if your parents are pensioners, maybe they won't ask for those specific things, but it's kind of like NSFAS, where you do have to prove the financial need as well as provide the academic accolades and letter of acceptance and so forth. So I'm just saying things like being in a position of financial need can put you ahead, even if maybe you don't have those straight A's that you may think are like, wow, that's what they are looking for. So it's not necessarily that. Do apply and attach as many documents. I'm sorry to say, this is so funny. They used to say, when we have to resubmit our NSFAS documents, they say, "Hi NSFAS, yes, I am still poor." So you must just prove your poverty with every bursary application. I'm not saying everyone is poor, but we're not rich, and tertiary education fees are expensive. Like, very few people in this country can afford to pay their fees, like, out of their family's income. So you show however much is there to support your family. Even in your motivational letter, if you're having a single mom who's taking care of so many children, just to motivate and say, obviously there's no way we're going to be able to pay these fees, and I am in financial need. So yeah, that definitely does count. Don't undermine it, focus on that. Like, yeah.
I just want to add, it's very important to attach everything that is required from you, because in most cases it's HR. In fact, in all cases it's HR who captures those documents. So if one document is missing, then it puts the HR in a very difficult position. The HR can't capture your documents, and therefore your bursary application might not be successful. And then in terms of grades or marks, you don't really need to be a top A student. You just need to be a surviving student. Yeah, because the most important thing, it's your character, what you're bringing to the table. Because everyone can get a qualification, but the character is everything.
Like your unique qualities as a person, and also your aspirations, where you want to go with your career. Also looking at the company that's giving the bursary. So let's say I'm applying to a mining company. I'm not going to necessarily motivate and say, yeah, I'm more interested in like hydrogeology. You must say things that are aligned with maybe the kind of employable candidate for that company might be. So you appeal to them, and sometimes you never know, like maybe that is actually your passion. So you use those strengths, that is the thing that sets you apart and makes you a better candidate. And even the way you express yourself in terms of where you're trying to go with your career will also set you apart if you're very clear on, okay, this is what I want to do in the next 5 years, or I plan on being this, or I'm passionate about this project and I've done this in the past. Like your leadership positions, even little things like being a class rep, whatever initiative in in your community, maybe you do charity work, and whatever it is that you've done, you try to play on those things that you've done which are unique to yourself. Have you done any charity work? When they always ask you to, I mean, you've probably done charity from now and again, but I mean, like, community activity, and they also say like maybe involvement in societies and positions of leadership. I don't think in our tertiary life there was many opportunities to really put yourself in these societies, but I do know at Wits they actually have a lot of societies that students can join and be a part of initiatives. So how important also do you think that is in terms of when there's that segment and maybe you have nothing to put in there? What do you think like a student can do?
I think about each person there's something very special. So there must be something special that you're doing for your community, no matter how small. Maybe even if it's just singing in church, that's a contribution to society. So you just speak about those things that highlight your character and make you different.
And also do try like and look for those opportunities. If I know that was my weakness, so coming into my postgrad, I did try to say, okay, where are the societies can I join? How can I be involved? Just so that in my next application, I'm not blank in terms of, oh, what must I put in here again, And I like also what you said in terms of nothing is ever too small to include in that section. Whatever it is you've done, no matter how small, include it instead of leaving that area blank. And also leaving blanks, right? Try not to leave a blank on your application form, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the next question to tackle is who can apply for bursaries?
Yeah, anyone can apply for bursaries. And one thing to have in mind, you must not restrict yourself. Let's say maybe they want a 60 in a particular subject and you don't have it. Still apply, because you need the bursary and you are capable to do that course that you are doing. So you shouldn't restrict yourself, just apply. But have the requirements of the bursary in mind, like what they are looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of who can apply, I'd like to maybe elaborate and say, whether you are freshly in matric, you can apply for bursaries while you are in matric using your results from March, June, or September, and you update them constantly. You can apply even if maybe you don't know yet what you've been accepted for. If you think you want to pursue this career, let's say you want to come to school and do accounting, maybe you haven't been accepted to an institution to do accounting, but start looking for bursaries in accounting during that year, because most bursaries maybe will come out and they're looking for students who are fresh out of matric going to start from their first year, so that they can carry them from first year to final year. And some people are already in their first year, already studying. Maybe you don't have any funding, maybe you don't have NSFAS, you have nothing, but you've been accepted. I mean, there are options, right?
Yeah.
So there are options like you can waive your registration fee. You can waive your registration fee. You can apply for NSFAS. You can even file an appeal as a student who's not affording, right?
Yeah.
There are sections, or even you go to the fees office and you say you want to enroll, you need to register. You can apply for financial clearance. You can figure things out. Like, don't put yourself down by saying, oh, when I will accept you, but I'm not funding, no one's gonna pay a komali ekaya. No, go to the university. There are people by SRC who are always around there, that you can tell them that you don't have this. They will tell you each university has different ways to cater to students who absolutely cannot do anything at that point in time. It's not a reason to stay at home and say, yeah, you'll try again next year, because what's going to be better about next year? Or now you have a gap year. So just come to the university if you can. But then if you can't come to the university, like, you can call, right? You can send emails. You can ask people maybe who have studied in the same institution. But I really don't think lack of funding should be the reason that you abandon your studies, especially if you've been accepted or given an offer to go and study.
Yeah. You must always communicate. Firstly, you can speak with people around your community. They can help you. If they can't, even the lecturers at the university, they have money, so they can assist students who are struggling financially. And then in terms of bursaries, you can get a bursary anytime. There is no date put that you can only get a bursary at the beginning of the year. For instance, with my sister, she applied for NSFAS and then she got rejected. And then she didn't have funding for the first year. And then for the second year, she just saw a payment from an ABSA scholarship. So ABSA was looking for students that are in debt and settling the debt. So she was lucky to benefit from that opportunity. And then for her third year, she managed to get a bursary. Yeah.
So that's amazing. And I mean, even people who get rejected for NSFAS initially, in your first year, you might not have NSFAS, you might not have any funding. I actually also have a friend who was never funded by NSFAS in the first year, had no bursary, but studied with us in geology in the first year. And in the second year, her NSFAS application was actually approved, or later on in the year, because they consider first students who are most financially needy in terms of NSFAS, and then they'll consider students who have that bottom bracket of income in their household, so they'll consider them as well at a later stage and accept students. So number one, funding is not a reason to stay away from university if you have an offer. And number two, there's no set time frame for when you can get an opportunity, when you can get a bursary. You apply throughout the year. Something can come up even when you're doing your third year of university, and that also goes to show bursaries, actually some corporations or companies have a societal obligation, like a corporate social responsibility, to support students either by internships, by learnerships, by bursaries. So it's not a sense of maybe you are seeking a favor from them. They also need to do you that favor for their company's portfolio, to the point where that ABSA would also go and look for students with historical debt so that they can earn those BE points if it's for that purpose. also that they can fulfill their responsibilities as a company. When auditors come, they look at things like that. Are you doing this? Are you helping? What's your contribution to society as a company that's making a lot of money in this country? So yeah, that's very important. Any and everyone can apply, and I think this conversation so far is actually opening up a lot of things I had left out in the previous video. So thank you so much for being here. And maybe we can also discuss getting a bursary as a post-grad who maybe has had a gap of a year or 2 years of not studying. And how did you apply for a bursary, like, to, because you didn't do your honors straight after undergrad, right?
Yes. For me, I completed my degree, and then I started looking for employment. So I worked in a mine as a graduate intern for almost 2 years. But I always knew in heart that I want to do my honors. So I applied at universities for my honors, and then I also applied for different bursaries. And another thing I want to add is that you don't really need an acceptance letter when applying for a bursary, and having that gap is not a problem as long as you were active by the time you were not studying. Yeah, so.
And I mean, even if you are not active, maybe you had a child that you have to take care of at home, it's life, right? It happens. If you have a desire to go back to school, you can start applying for bursaries from home, no matter how long you've stayed away. You know, I'm doing a program, it's a postgraduate diploma. Most of the people that are in my class are actually elderly people. They have parents, they have been married, they've taken that gap in their lives to focus on work and family life and so forth. And when they want to come back to their studies at 30, at 40, either you appeal to the company you work for if they can help you with your funding, or you apply externally for bursaries that are available in your industry to actually further your studies. You can get a bursary at whatever age, at whatever position. Even if a bursar maybe says we don't fund postgraduate students, we don't fund master's students, apply regardless, and you can always reappeal. If you spoke to this person, they said no, you can email the next person. It doesn't cost you anything to say, you know, I'm studying, these are my results. Maybe if they reject you initially, these are my results, I still don't have funding, would you reconsider? You know, you just keep on knocking, a door will definitely open. So yeah, is there anything else that you would like to add?
I just want to say, in my own experience, I actually found it better. I actually found that when you're a postgrad student, there are more opportunities for bursaries than when you're in undergrad. Because maybe in undergrad I had 1 or 2 offers, but in postgrad I've had a lot of offers for bursaries. So as a postgrad student, companies want you because they know that you are ready for the workforce. You are ready, and even intellectually you are awake, so they are looking for you, so you can also look for them.
Yes, okay, I love that. Thank you so much, Slee, for those words of encouragement. I really, really hope you have taken notes and that this video has inspired you to put yourself out there and don't look down on your current position. No matter where your weaknesses are, you do have strengths. You can focus on that, and you have nothing to lose by applying. Even if you get a no, you just keep applying. Even if you get another no, eventually you'll get you'll get a yes, and it will be at the right time, and you know, things will always work together for good. Thank you so much for tuning in. Give this video a big thumbs up. Follow Slee on Instagram. I know you're not that big on Instagram.
No, you can follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I'm at.
Okay, follow Slee on LinkedIn. I will link her descriptions down below. And you know what? Actually, even on Instagram, even on LinkedIn, you can DM people if you need help, even if you don't know people. And thank you guys for your DMs. Thank you for coming through, asking me questions. I'm always happy to assist. I'm always happy to elaborate. You may not even know the person who's studying, maybe at NMMU, and you got an acceptance to go and study there. If you find people who are studying there, whether you find them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, you can ask them, hey, how's the experience? I've been accepted to study this. We're all in the same age group at the end of the day, and I don't think anyone will say no to helping you if they already are ahead of you. You understand? So just reach out to people, guys, and let us help each other. Let us be there for each other. Leave a comment down below of any additional advice you might have, and subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up. I will see you guys on my next video. Also, do share some maybe different topics that you would like to see me cover, and I'm open to more collaborations, right? So I'm gonna decide on the next topic and see who's the best person to collaborate on. Thank you so much for coming, and I really appreciate your insights and everything you've shared today. Thank you, guys. Bye.